On this episode of Chasing Summer Sailing, we take the NautiGirl out of the water and start her much needed facelift. Hi. As you suspect, that's me. For the last 15 years of my life. I took that summer job in college and, well, I got good at it and forgot to leave. Don't get me wrong, I had fun too. I got to coach a college wrestling club for 10 years at UCF. But towards the end, I was craving an adventure. So, like most of you who are watching this, I found Delos, and I was hooked. So, like my namesake, Captain James Cook, it's the high seas life for me. So follow along as I prepare to join the 2025 World Arc. I pick up some friends and go off on an adventure. Good morning. Finally got her hauled out. As you can see, she's in desperate need of some bottom paint. So, if you look over here on the keel, so she's got a steel keel. So we're gonna end up grinding a little bit of this, re-epoxying it so it doesn't rust. Take off all this bad old paint right here that's peeling away. I'll end up scraping all that off. Getting all new bottom paint. I'm gonna go with black. Clean out all these old through holes. Got barnacles and everything in them. But I'm gonna start with finishing off the pressure washing that they weren't able to get to. Start pressure washing and sanding down some spots on the keel, and the paint is just peeling off. So I have a sneaky suspicion they did not put anything down under the hard bottom paint, and it is just peeling right off the keel. So I'm gonna have to probably sand down this entire keel all the way down to the steel and do it from scratch. Looks like I got most of the loose stuff off, so that thing is way too abrasive to go on the fiberglass. I can use that one because that's a steel keel. But all the loose stuff's off, so it doesn't look like I have to bring it all the way down. They just missed parts of the epoxy. So, time to start sanding on the rest of the hull. Look down in here. This is all where they put the old 5200. So as far as this boat was made, you have the fiberglass keel going into the steel keel where the gas tank is, going all the way down to the lead bottom, which is where your weight comes from. If you can see that little tiny crack right in there. I'll probably have to do the same thing down here that I'm doing up here, peeling away all this old caulking, because as you can see, it's starting to rust away the metal. So they didn't do a very good job, whoever did this last. So we're gonna clean that all up real nice, re-5200 it, reseal it, and we don't have to worry about the bolts going bad. So as you see, that's all nice and cleaned out. It's all clean on the bottom. I'll wipe it down with acetone first, but all that's gonna be nice and smooth with 5200, and then I'll clean it up with something else. And I'll go ahead and put the hard bottom paint over it, and we should be good there. I'm going to seal up this joint that I removed all the old caulking that was starting to rust with this Anchor Tech Fast Dry from Pettit Paint. Now, I filled in the whole seam. Did I go overkill? Very likely. But it's not leaking, and that's all I care about. That stuff is packed in there, sealed. It's kind of a mess, but I can clean that up later. You won't even see it once you paint. Sand it down a little bit, and you're good. As long as that seal is filled in there completely and that dries, that's all I care. So, not too many people are going to be diving underneath my boat once it's all painted and be like, you put in too much caulking. And if they are, fuck them. Not my problem. My boat won't be sinking. That's all I care. Time to do the other side. So now that that's all done, all of it's sealed, we're going to go around to all the through holes and just reseal the edges. Might as well since it's out of the water, and then obviously they'll get their bottom paint when it's time. But go through and reseal all of those. So here is a perfect example. If you can see there, all that caulking. It's been eaten away. I'm surprised that it hasn't been leaking already. I'm sure it is, but we'll fix that up. So since you're already sealing stuff up, find the little spots that go through. Like inside there, all that caulking was gone, so it's another leak point. So just go through, clean that up real quick, and then go ahead and seal those up. Same with all these little catches where your water cycles in. Okay, clean those up really good. You can't go straight over the dirt. I want to hear very well. So clean that up with a nice brush, and then seal it up. And hit all your through holes. Now, is this the proper way of doing it? I have no idea. But I do know those aren't going to leak, and they're good through holes. They're brass, so I'm okay with that. And it'll look fine once the paint's on there. So all these little dots right there, if you look really closely, they got really clear centers. Those are all tiny blisters. Most of the time, you don't need to worry about little blisters that small because they're gonna be fine on their own after the next coat of paint. But because I have so many in certain areas that I'm a little concerned that they will eventually form to be slightly bigger and start touching, which will cause a much larger delamination. can see two right here. Okay, so I'm gonna go around with my Dremel tool and go, there's one right up here. Go around with my Dremel tool and take care of all those little spots and let those dry out over the next couple days, and then I'll fill them in, sand them down, and make it nice and perfect, because might as well fix the problem while the boat's out of the water. So when running your Dremel, what you're trying to do basically is you're picking a spot. So if you look at this one, you can see how it's cracked. All you're going is trying to wallow it out, not trying to dig a big groove until you see how there's still little cracks in there. You're just trying to get it to where you have good fiberglass touching again to good fiberglass. So it's still kind of cracked in this area, so we're going to work it up a little bit. And don't really worry about, you're not going to take that much off. You're just trying to go to where there's no more delamination, which is basically when water gets between the layers of fiberglass, causing more issues for you down the road. So if you see, now it's all got good contact again, and when we go back, we'll come in and fill that in. So if you look right here, this is what you're looking for. They get water underneath there, and then it comes out looking like red sap. It has a really sweet smell to it, but that's all the stuff you want to get out of those blisters. So now if you look at it, all these are little pits now. Nice and cleaned out. There's no more where they're delaminated. On some of them, like here. No water. On some of them, when you keep going, little bits of water will start pushing itself out, and that's what you want. Because you need that to dry out. So you're gonna have to let this sit for 3 or 4 days to let it really dry out. And then you'll come back with your little epoxy compound and fill it all back in. Struck a big one. If you look, this whole area was bumped out a little bit. Just kept going and going and going, and there it is. That's why you always gotta check. Didn't even see that one. There was no sign, just that one big bump. But we'll fix it now. So take a look at this. So if you see right in here, it's still kind of feathery. That means we gotta keep going back. That's separation between the glasses. So you gotta go until it all looks like one smooth composite piece. You just gotta keep going, because I can fit my fingernail under there, and that's not good. That's called delamination. Good morning, starting another day. So we've been letting these blisters sit for a couple days. But as you can see here, there's still a couple that are still leaking. So I've got to go through, find those ones and wallow them out a little bit more, because that means I didn't get to where the water was to dry out. So those have to be dry before you can put the new epoxy on, or you didn't do anything good. You just refilled up the hole, leaving the water inside of it. So spend a couple minutes going through those and let those dry for the next couple days, but we can fill up the others. Stay tuned for next week, where we fair the blisters and we paint the bottom.